Deca-only for testosterone replacement and Deca-only cycles for steroid users. This is absolutely back in the news and a craze once again as it cycles through this, it seems, over decades. Let's review what I'm going to present today. An amazing case study of a man who's been living on durabolin for 20 years and feels well. We will talk about this as a case study report, and I will talk about the labs and his case presentation. I will also use some evidence-based support in an article that I'll present. And of course, I will tie this together with my anecdotal histories, as I've been caring for men on steroids for a very long time. At this point, I've seen thousands of men on anabolic steroids. Let's start right off in looking at what durabolin is. Durabolin is a NOR19 derived anabolic androgenic steroid with increased anabolic properties versus testosterone and theoretically lower androgenic properties. Now, this is secondary to the nature of this drug to be converted by 5-alpha reductase to a lesser androgenic substance called dihydronandrolone versus DHT. And when we look at this weaker androgen, dihydronandrolone versus DHT, we have to look at it in different tissue sites. And this was looked at the scalp, for an example, and also in the prostate. This is really the science of this, and that people are really interested in, and also the literature. Now, in skeletal muscle, there's no 5-alpha reductase enzyme, so this drug is more anabolic, and its effects in skeletal muscle are maintained because this absence of 5-alpha reductase enzyme is not there, so we don't have the lower androgen that's there, so it's anabolic in skeletal muscle. Now, the article that I present and I use is an incredible article, Beyond Testosterone Cypionate, Evidence Behind the Use of Nandrolone in Male Health and Wellness. This is presented February 29th, 2016 by Translational Andrology and Urology, Michael Pan and Dr. Jason Kovac out of Baylor College of Medicine and also Men's Health Center Urology of Indiana, so in America. So this is a very interesting report where they talk about nandrolone and these aspects, how it's anabolic in skeletal muscle and less androgenic. So for men, this is relating to TRT and wellness in men and preparations, looking at compared to TRT, is it going to be better, less male pattern balding, less acne, and less effects on the prostate. Interesting that they do not discuss the cardiovascular aspects that are going to be still out there at bay and always a consideration. And of course, they do talk about the shutdown of the hypothalamus pituitary gonadal axis. Now, with that said and presented, I'd like to present my case for a man who is a 37-year-old man, started steroids when he was 13 to 14 years old, and subsequently in years ahead, he's been living on steroids for over 20 years, and he comes to me living on Deca-only, 300 milligrams a week, and he alternates that months in, months out with alkaloids. He is also utilizing human growth hormone, but the amazing feature of this is he has a great libido and he feels well. He's had some issues with polycythemia, and he's had some issues with fertility. Now, let's look at his labs. This is absolutely incredible, absolutely incredible to capture this right in front of my eyes. This man comes in and on 300 milligrams a week of nandrolone, deca-durabolin, his LH and FSH, his gonadotropins in his brain are completely shut down. They're unmeasurable, LH and FSH, so the brain is completely suppressed. His testosterone total level is 3.9. Liquid chromatography mass spectroscopy, this is LabCorp. This is in nanograms per deciliter, 3.9. It's the lowest I think I've ever seen in my life. The range, everyone knows, is about 300, 250, 300, up to 1,000 or 1,100. He's 3.9. His free testosterone is 47.9. This is picograms per milliliter. The scale is about 8.7 to 25. Now, his testosterone total is very, very low, but his free testosterone is actually super physiologic. Let's keep going and we'll discuss this. His ultra-sensitive estradiol is low at 6.0. The range is 8 to 35 picograms per milliliter. We would expect this. Nandrolone decanate is not estrogenic. His sex hormone binding globin, which is very relevant and important for men that are checking their androgen status to make sure they have an appropriate check with total and free testosterone and a sexually binding globin. His sexually binding globin is very low, 5.1. The range here is 16.5 to 55.9 nanomoles per liter. So he has no total testosterone, close to zero. He has a very low sexually binding globin. Steroids push down sexually binding globin, therefore liberating free testosterone. Indeed, his free testosterone is very high here, and he feels well, and he's just on nandrolone. What else do we have? Prolactin. Prolactin, I think deca-durabolin could be, it has progestonic activities and metabolites, which in the chain can end up leading to increase in prolactin, indirectly and directly. So prolactin levels, I checked, normal, 9.8 nanograms per milliliter. The range here is 4 to 15. His prostate-specific antigen for his health is very low at 0.5 nanograms per milliliter. And in this case, this man came to me because he needs support after 20 years. He's been able to maintain fertility at great cost with urologists that helped him with agents and Clomid and HMG and HCG, and it worked, but it was very difficult for him. He had a very tough time regaining the fertility, but in the end, the HMG did work, and it took a while. He has polycythemia, excessive polycythemia. His hemoglobin was up over 19, and his hematocrit was up near 60, and it's lower now. He's doing better, so I'm going to have to work on that. So that's my case. Now let's talk about this. So this man feels well. He's been living on deca-durabolin. Of course, he alternates with equipoise, which could be a whole nother discussion. He's not on any other steroids except for growth hormone, which is not a steroid. It's not an androgen, so we have to leave that out. I feel that there's no effect of that going on here. Please, I need help. I need to get a discussion going. What's going on here? Deca-durabolin is classically been known for decades to be used as a popular steroid, mainly with other steroids. I understand there are people in the world and bodybuilders way back when and even back today that use Deca-only, and there's so much arguing for the mechanisms. How does it work? Deca-dec. Does it cause erectile dysfunction? No one's going to argue because of the DHN conversion, lesser than DHT, in the susceptible target tissue, the hair, and the prostate, the skin, that there's going to be better effects versus testosterone. No one's going to argue that. It is interesting for the heart, long term, what will happen, but we're going to leave that out. For today, how does this happen? How is this man on Deca and he has essentially no total testosterone, high free testosterone, prolactin's normal, estrogen's low, sex hormone binding globulin is low? I'm asking for help. I'm asking for help because I don't know. No one knows. I wanted to study this particularly because based on the experts, maybe this drug, nandrolone, because of its incredible properties that are for muscle staving, protection, and wellness, could it be better for men because of this lesser effect on, again, the balding, the skin, and the prostate? These are great. We have doctors right now in this country that are working with me on these issues. We need more studies. In the meanwhile, I want to get a discussion. Please, let's get a discussion here. I want scientists. I'd like to have more scientists here. Master's degree, PhDs. I'll take the bro science guys. You guys are amazingly brilliant, and it's incredible. This day and age, because of the internet, do you need to have an actual degree on the wall? I'd like to see it, but it's amazing. It was self-study, and with you guys are so damn smart. I'm so amazed at who comes into my office, and I've been doing this for a very long time. It's amazing. So, what's happening? What do I think's happening here is this. Deca-durabolin definitely suppresses the hypothalamus pituitary gonadal axis, and we're seeing it here. But somehow there's some metabolite that's converting directly to free testosterone. The progestational activity and the sequential metabolites that are metabolized and chemically broken down in this man's body, without question, is providing him super physiologic free testosterone, and he feels well. This is the support for Deca-only cycles and Deca-only support for men that are using it in the world and feel well. There's no need to argue each other. There's no need to say it. Some men clearly can live on Deca-durabolin. Of course, this is not my medical advice. Please see a physician. This is absolutely incredible. There must be a subset of men with their genetics and their enzymes on a molecular level are able to experience Deca-durabolin and convert its metabolites into free testosterone. It does argue in the end with all that free testosterone and therefore subsequent conversion of DHT, real DHT, from free testosterone, you're going to get the androgenic issues with the hair, the skin, and the prostate. Think about that. So it's very confusing. This is very complicated. The hypothalamus pituitary gonad axis is shut down. It showed on him because he could not have children easily. He had to get help with agents, with urologists. Now, what is the future? The future of this is going to be incredible to look at. We don't know any more today. What can I do for him? We are transitioning him easily over, softly, to testosterone, bringing some testosterone in, because we just don't know. He just doesn't want to live on Deca-durabolin, and I can't provide Deca-durabolin because it's something that I don't feel comfortable doing in this country with my medical license. Only testosterone. His levels are so low for total, but his free is high. What do we do about this? His prostate's been okay, but his CBC has been very, very concerning as he's manifesting androgen-induced erythrocytosis with marked polycythemia, and that obviously could hurt him in the future. This is it. So please, I want a great discussion going. If you're on Deca by itself, again, please, Deca with other drugs and steroids, we don't need to talk about that because everyone knows you take Deca with certain proportions of testosterone, not to mention other steroids, and that's what people do when you feel well. I want a discussion on Deca only, and I'd like to see it for TRT, not steroid users. Thank you so much, and I really hope this discussion helps men in the world today and in the future. Thank you so much.